10 o'clock on the dot. Look at this. Beans Bits coming at you live. It's not all the way true. I'll explain that later, but that's all right. Today we got a really, really interesting topic. At least it's interesting to me, and I hope it's interesting to you. It is 10 reasons why you want to improve your mindset now. There's some value to it, right? And what does it mean to improve your mindset? Well, there's some choices. You've got growth mindset, right? One that's open to opportunities, one that's going to look at things from different angles. You've got the idea of things are going to be okay. You've got the closed mindset, which is kind of on the opposite end. And that's a little bit different, right? That things are the way they are. You're kind of stuck, and maybe things are predestined and you don't have much say in the matter. um, you've got people that are optimistic, you've got people that are pessimistic, and you've got people that are realistic. And of all those different things, and the one to me that really matters is this idea that I've seen referred to and referred to it myself as right thinking. And right thinking is important because there are times when things are bad and you have to acknowledge that things are bad. Being an optimist in down times doesn't make you a better person. It might make you deal with the situation a little better, and just like being a pessimist when things are great, there's no sense in sitting around waiting for the other shoe to drop. That doesn't serve you, it doesn't serve your highest and best use. So to me, I like to think about right thinking. I like to have kind of this operational mindset that is going to be level set, not in between crap and great, right? Not sporting in the middle, but closer to things are good. And yeah, they're good. And guess what? They can get better. And I like that idea. As long as we're doing the work and making the effort to actually have things get better, I don't think there's anything wrong with being a little optimistic. So, anyway, let's talk about why these 10 reasons might make you want to rethink your internal operating system, because ultimately that's what your mindset is. How to level it up a little bit, and more importantly, why you want to. Number one, it lowers aggression, it lowers stress, and it lowers your ability to be angry, right? There's so many times when I see people and have been people, right? Self identify, have been people that fly off the handle a little too easily. We get mired in our expectations on how things are going to go. We get frustrated when they don't go our way. I think about being on the road driving a car, how often you just kind of lose your stuff and get all mad at somebody and start yelling at a person that could never hear you in a million years. I have a convertible. They can hear me because I'm loud. But it's not worth it, right? It's not worth it. Recognize that when you're on the road, and this is true on the actual physical road or the road of life, things aren't going to go your way. People are going to cut you off. You will get frustrated and deal with that accordingly. Expect that things might not always go your way, and then you're significantly less surprised when they don't. And then you have the ability to respond to a situation versus reacting to a situation. And in my mind, a response requires some sort of thought process. And I like to think from my gut, I like to think from my heart, and I like to think from my head, oftentimes in that order. So, respond over react, and allow having this right thinking to lower your aggression, to lower your anger, to lower your stress. Number two, it allows you to see more possibilities, more opportunities in your life. When you have a more open mind, right? When you're not closed off that things are predetermined, you can actually see opportunities. Great example. I read a post the other day here on LinkedIn from a gentleman. and it was Sunday, it was yesterday, and I was like, "Uh-oh, I busted myself." Busted, hence the reason I said, "Man, it's not really live." It was yesterday because it is Monday, and I'm recording this and trying to upload it and have it show up at 10 AM tomorrow and act like it's live. I can't wait to see if that happened. Drop in a comment if you caught me. I just ratted myself out, so it doesn't really matter. But I read this post, I saw what they were doing. He wrote this epic tale on training and the 4 elements that matter and all these different things, and as I was reading this post, I was like, this would be kind of cool for car dealers. And I was thinking about this program that I offer for salespeople to get more leads and more opportunities. And it's really comprehensive. And I was like, gosh, car dealerships might be a really good entry point. And when I finished reading his post, I went to his profile, I checked out his profile. Lo and behold, he does training for car dealerships, 34 states of car dealerships. So I'm like, hey, maybe there's an interesting partnership opportunity because the information I'm going to bring to the table is different and he's already got the audience. So maybe we can do a collaboration, right? Opens your mind to different possibilities, to different opportunities. Sure, it may go nowhere, but I'll find that out on Tuesday, right? Or, sometime after Tuesday. It's kind of cool. Number three, it allows you to receive more. And because when you're closed off, you're thinking this isn't going to work, this isn't going to happen. And that kind of stops any of the law of attraction from positively impacting your life. When you look at things and say, I would like X or something better, you don't even really know what that something better could be. But if you're open to it showing up, it just may. So be open minded, right? It's amazing what can happen because, again, just like the lesson number two, there's more possibilities out there than we'll ever know. And we certainly will find more of them as an open minded individual than a closed minded individual. Number four, it helps you calm down faster. When you're closed minded, you're thinking about this is the worst thing ever. When you're open minded, you're like, the hell it is. Remember when this happened? Remember when this happened? Remember when this happened? And it allows you to change your perspective and it allows you to do that in the moment. And when we can change our perspective, we can change our perception. And our perception is really what drives how we think and how we feel about things. And if we can just change that now, we can be better served in the future. And it allows us to breathe, which really allows us to calm down, right? You really want to get calm, breathe differently, right? Take time to inhale, hold it, hold it, exhale. It is hard to stay frustrated when we change our state, and we can change our state by changing our breath. So there you go. Open minded and breath work all in the same sentence is a great way to help you calm down faster. Number five, having an open mind improves your relationship with self, right? And let's be honest, there is exactly one person that you are going to know from the time you were born till the time you die. Don't know who that is? Go look in a mirror. There's your first clue. And so when you're open minded, you have a tendency to be a little bit more forgiving, a little bit more understanding, and a little bit more open to how things go. You also have the ability to see different angles, like we talked about, and maybe push yourself in ways that you may not have pushed yourself previously. Right? When you're growth minded, you tend to jump on new challenges and really, really see what you're made of. I can't think of the gentleman's name right now, but he was an Indian kind of Swami type of individual. And he said, body not stiff, mind stiff. And if you've been following these along, you'll see a slide that I have with a woman that's bent over and contorted. She took second place in the yoga championships. And like, you can't believe how her body can move. Why? because she didn't believe her body couldn't move that way, so she figured it out. I love that. Why? Because your body is not stiff, your mind is. So good stuff. Number 6, it improves your relationship with others. When you are open minded about how things are and how people can be, you don't put them in a box. You don't just say, I expect this to happen. Therefore, if it doesn't happen, I dislike them. You let them be. One of my favorite phrases is you meet people where they are. And so when you do that without expectation, without judgment, without carrying your baggage and dumping it on their feet, you can allow them to be them and allow you to be you. And that creates a better relationship, right? We all talk about authenticity and vulnerability and transparency. These are big watchwords these days. And when you're open minded, those things happen. It's really nice. Number 7, it changes your perception. And like, I love giving presentations where I steal my own thunder. I talked about perception about 3 points ago. And once you change your perception, you can really kind of change how you see things. I've been running around giving this presentation recently called Mindset Matters. How we see things is greater than what we actually see. And that's all about perception. So when we open up our perception a little bit, we actually end up getting different results. Yeah, not always are they better, but they're different, and we can deal with them from a changed frame of reference, from a changed frame of perception. So it becomes really, really important to open up that mind and allow yourself to see things differently. I talk about in that same presentation, I talk about this idea of 54 shades of gray. We don't have just black and white. Most choices aren't binary. It's not on or off. There's usually a bunch of things in between. I would tell you that there's not really real black and there's not really, really white. What there is really, 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 really dark gray that looks black, and there's really, 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 really light gray that looks white, and there's 52 shades of gray in between. And when you can perceive 20 of those, right, instead of two of those, black and white, gives you a lot more flexibility in your choices. You get to see number 9, you get to see more angles of any given situation. And that's super important. Tying into that 54 shades of gray, you may have thought that you had option yes or option no. But you also have option yes, but not right now. Option yes, but not with you. Option yes, but not in that order. You have option no, not today. And so you've got other ways that you can think of things. So when you look at something from a 360-degree point of view, you'll see different ways to attack a problem instead of standing right here and saying, well, this is all I can see. The view from here is very different than the view from 180 degrees around, because there might be something in between you that you didn't even know was there, right? So open up that mind, open up those angles, open up that perception, and see things differently. And number 10, it improves your vibration, which changes your point of attraction. I mentioned the law of attraction earlier. We have thoughts that have a resonant magnetism, right? So thoughts actually are things. Those thoughts can go out and attract the things that are like them. That's how the law of attraction actually works. And so we vibrate at a certain level. And when you vibrate at a low frequency, you tend to attract things that are of a lower frequency. When you vibrate at a higher level, you vibrate and attract things that are at a higher frequency. And that was me trying to vibrate. Does it look like I'm vibrating? Yeah. When we do that, we can attract things that are better for us. So those are 10 things that you can use to change, uh, well, to improve your mindset, right? To move into that right thinking standpoint. One last lesson on right thinking is we don't ever fail unless we fail to learn the lesson. Bad things are going to happen. They're going to happen every single day, right? I've said it before. I wrote it in the book. Life is nothing more than a series of pats on the shoulder and kicks in the gonads. And so, we can't celebrate these pats too hard, and we can't cry over those kicks too hard either, because it's just a part of life. And so, changing this mindset allows us to deal with the things as they come in a proper way that doesn't leave us all stressed out or anxious, and allows us to level set back to our happy, loving self. My name's Terry Bean. I love to coach people. I love to train people. I love to share big ideas just like this on a stage in front of your audience. And if you'd like to have any of those conversations, I am here for it. There's a book and appointment button right there. I don't know if it's right there, but I'm going to pretend it's right there. It's right there on my profile. Let's talk. My little Calendly link's in there. We can schedule a time to chat for 15 or 20 minutes and figure out what you're trying to do and whether or not I might be able to help you do it bigger, better, faster, less expensive, whatever, right? Let's go. Let's grow. See you soon.